Humankind's search for wealth and fame dates back thousands of years. History is evidence that the quest for wealth, power, and the luxury has played a major role in shaping our present and future. But many of you will be curious about who was the richest among all. If that's what you are looking for, then this video is the right click. Hello everyone, and welcome to Luxotic, where today we will be showing off the richest of the richest in history. Hit the subscribe button and let's explore our list of the top 10 richest people in history. Make sure not to miss number 1 on the list. Number 10, William the Conqueror, $229.5 billion. The infamous William, or more commonly known as William the Bastard or William the Conqueror back then, was a descendant of Viking invaders, which explains where he got his knack for invasion. William, the first king of England, reigned between 1066 and 1087. He was the Norman King of England, and history has nominated him as one of the richest men of all time. His wealth was estimated to be around $209 to $229 billion. He is said to be England's final successful foray leader, who became the crowned king after overthrowing the preceding one. Number 9, Mir Usman Ali Khan, $230 billion. At number 9, we have the figure who was labeled as the wealthiest person at the time by Time magazine. He was the ruler of Hyderabad's princely estate, which was the largest state in British India. He was the last Nizam of Hyderabad. He ruled between 1911 to 1948. He is the man behind the establishment of airways, railways, roads, and numerous public institutions in Hyderabad. Mir Usman Ali Khan, the last Nizam of Hyderabad, is believed to be the Earth's wealthiest person until his death. His assets were said to be around $100 million in gold and $400 million in silver. Moreover, his treasure was expended by gems, pearls, hundreds of racehorses, thousands of dresses, tons of royal insignias, and Rolls-Royce in dozens. Number 8, Nicholas II of Russia, $300 billion. One of the affluent people who ever lived on the face of the earth is Nicholas II of Russia. He goes by several other names such as Nicholas the Bloody or Saint Nicholas the Passion Bearer. He ruled between 1894 to 1917, and his reign was considered to be the last in Russia since he was forced to abdication. Russia underwent severe economic crisis during his reign, which in result diminished his military power. Most historians paint him as an inept and incompetent ruler whose decisions led to the death of millions of citizens and several military failures. Regardless of his reign and his leadership abilities, his resources were subtly incalculable. But it's described that Nicholas II of Russia's net worth was estimated to be around $300 billion. Now that's a lot of money and no work. Whoops. Number 7, Andrew Carnegie, Scottish-American industrialist, $372 billion. Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish-American industrialist who administered the American steel industry's extension in the late 19th century. He is identified not just for his fortune, but as a leading philanthropist of his time, donating all his worth of $350 million to the British Empire and United States. This amount would be equivalent to today's $60 billion. Andrew Carnegie's net worth is estimated to have been $372 billion. Number 6, John D Rockefeller, $350 billion. Do you know who is the wealthiest American of all time in history? Well, if you've been a fan of conspiracy theories, you must know about him and his family. John D Rockefeller takes the title at number 6, while being the richest American in history. Born in 1839, he built his wealth by controlling 90% of oil sales in the United States. He also consumed a lot of money from the railroad industry. In 1911, he became the first American billionaire, and in 1913, his net worth was estimated to be around $418 billion at the time. That's a lot of money. By 1937, Rockefeller's distributed fortune was estimated to be around $1.4 trillion. John D. Rockefeller's $350 billion riches still stand today as nearly the wealthiest the world has ever seen. Number 5, Augustus Caesar, Roman Emperor, $4.6 trillion. Snagging the title at number 5 is the first emperor of the Roman Empire, Augustus Caesar. He was a military leader and a statesman, and since he is on our list, He was one of the wealthiest individuals that have ever lived. He reigned from 27 BC to 14 AD. During his rule, he extended the empire by conquering Dalmatia, Egypt, Rhaetia, Noricum, Pannonia, Africa, and finalizing his quest in Hispania. History has logged his personal fortune as 20% of the entire empire economy, which, if calculated in total, was worth around $4.6 trillion. Number 4. Akbar the Great. Net worth $21 trillion. Coming at number 4 is the renowned ruler of the Mughal Empire, who governed India from 1556 to 1605. He is one of the richest people who have ever lived. He conquered hundreds of thousands of square miles in South Asia, most of what was known as the Indian subcontinent. His power and influence, and most importantly, his political, culture, and economic dominance made him control nearly 25% of the world's GDP, which is equivalent to today's $21 trillion. Number 3. Emperor ShenZhen of Song. $30 trillion. Zhao Zu, or Emperor ShenZhen of Song, is one of the richest people and takes the place of third richest on our list of the richest men in history. He reigned between 1067 and 1085 as the 6th emperor of the Song dynasty in China. The Chinese history states that the emperor controlled 30% of the global GDP at the time of his rule. The reason behind his ginormous wealth and assets was his business of selling bronze. Number 2. Genghis Khan. Hundreds of trillions. You've probably heard of him as the Superfather, and he has made it to our list at number 2. Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire. The fearsome Mongol king conquered 12 million square miles of land, and his empire became the largest contiguous empire in history. He amalgamated many Asian countries by conquering almost all of Eurasia. He was the notorious leader who massacred civilians during campaigns. It's noted that he had over $100 trillion, making him one of the richest men in history. Number 1. Mansa Musa. Wealth incalculable. Have you ever heard of the Golden King? Probably not, but he is the richest person that ever lived. His wealth was indescribable, and some try to put it in figures of more than $1 trillion, but he had much more than could have been accounted for. The richest man to ever exist till now, Mansa Musa of Mali. He was the king of the Malian Empire. The 14th century West African ruler is described as the most generous ruler who wreaked havoc in his country's economy and had influence over the Middle East and Europe as well. His wealth was so massive that no one could state a specific number. Mansa Musa had the wondrous kingdom stretching to modern-day Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Mauritania, Senegal, the Gambia, and Mali itself. This kingdom came with great resources such as salt and gold. It was believed that the Empire of Mali accounted for half of the world's gold at the time. Thus, Mansa Musa is the recorded legend, and till now the richest person this world has ever witnessed. No one till now has come close to the amount of wealth that Musa owned. This was all for today's list. Comment your favorite richest figure and hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Hop onto our channel for more amazing content and support us by subscribing. Until the next video, goodbye.